Another item that is very helpful, although not necessary, is a tackle box to put all of these makeup products in. If you're like me, you love makeup and you collect things, so the box that the actual makeup comes in from Mayron will serve you throughout the semester. That's not a problem. But if you start to collect things or want to add things to your kit, a tackle box or caboodle box or something a little bit larger is also a really good thing to have, you know, to store your supplies and keep them in order. Also, don't leave them in your car and let them freeze. That's not a good thing. For the course requirements, the timely completion of all assignments is really important, and this is all described in the outline here that's included in the syllabus. Visual and written research, written character analysis, face plans, and studio work are all required. I'll go over all of that piece by piece as I assign them. And again, this is one of the things that's part of this course. It's a fun course, but there still are requirements and things that need to be turned in for each project. Again, please remove facial piercings and be clean shaven for each and every class. So just if you are allergic, if you have highly sensitive skin, please be aware that you might want to postpone taking this class or see me sooner rather than later. Usually there's a waiting list for this class, so it's better to allow someone else to join if you're going to make the decision to not continue. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let me go over the course syllabus, course outline. So included in your syllabus are the directions and things to acquire your makeup kit. That kit needs to be in your hands and in the classroom on February 3rd. So if you decide to order it, or if you decide to, drive to Mayron and pick it up, please have it in class on February 3rd. I talked to them today, and they said that they should have enough supply to make sure that everybody has that they can get it. The way that you'll actually choose your makeup color is through this kit, or through this list. And what happens is there are 3 or 4 colors within a range. So you order either a fair kit, medium kit, olive kit, or dark kit. So if you're extremely fair, really, really pale, you would order a fair kit. If you have medium tones, I use a medium tone as a redhead. There starts quite dark and goes, kind of into, again, a medium tone. I think for men, even if men are very fair, I think on stage a medium is a better choice than fair. I think you become too pale if you would choose to have a fair, the fair kit. The olive kit over here is often for people if you have a lot of yellow in your skin. Hispanic, if you're Asian, that may be the best fit for you. And it comes in a number of different intensities, from a light to a dark, and these can be blended and find an appropriate color for you. Dark is fairly obvious. There's a wide range in that, but go ahead and when you're at Mayron, talk to them about it and see what they would suggest for you. So if you're ordering it online, I think this is what you would do. Fair, medium, olive, dark, are the 4 characters. We do not do TV and video because some of the items, in the kit are slightly different, and it just doesn't line up with the rest of the class. So please stick with those 4 choices. Again, this is stick makeup, cream blend. This is not pancake. Often people show up to class with the pancake and they'll have to return it or take it back to Mayron. So when you purchase it or when you order it, just be very clear about what it will, what we're asking for. Next week on January 27th, we'll be doing a coloring. Essentially, I'm going to give you a pencil, I'm going to give you a paper, and we're going to talk about highlights and shadows and how that is created with makeup, and give you a sort of a sense of how do you make something rounder or come forward or to retreat on your face. We'll also be creating a face plan in class of your face that you will Xerox and use one for each one of the projects. So that will happen next week. On the third class, we will go over the makeup kits and do corrective makeup. We'll talk about all the products, and we'll do a beauty makeup right in class. The following week, we watch a video and we do old age makeup. So those first 2 makeups I do not grade. They're just practice. It's a chance to get used to the kits, get used to the brushes, get used to how this all works, and it tends to work quite well. The following week, on February 17th, we do a young parent and old age. So you start out being maybe 30, 35, and then we push it to an older age with, just adding more depth and highlights and shadows to the young parent makeup. After that, we do period makeup that you draw from a hat, whether you're doing 1930s or you're doing Renaissance or you're doing the 1950s. So it's a very fun period. It takes a little research to try to recreate what people look like in a different decade. We do an animal project. This is not a cartoon project. This is a real animal that has fur or feathers or scales, and it's a lot of fun to be able to do it, but it takes a little skill and it takes some good photographs to make sure that you do it well. The midterm project requires a two-page or 500-word essay. I will assign a mid-century play from Arthur Miller, Tennessee Williams, or Edward Albee, and I will assign the character to you. So you write a short analysis of the character, and then really the bulk of that 2 pages is what you will do to your face to create the character. At that point, we'll check makeup morgues, and we're kind of halfway through the semester, that fast. We have spring break on March 17th, and we'll come back, and the last part of the class, the semester, will really be about dimensional makeup, 3D makeup. So we'll start with 3D aging and cuts, burns, and scars. The following, we're going to do Chinese makeup, which is a painting project, but it is quite detailed. Then we do fantasy and exotic makeup. By exotic, I mean like runway kind of makeup. And fantasy, I'm going to hopefully push you into something that's imaginative and otherworldly. Should be good. I've added a zombie to the makeup list because I think people are kind of interested in that, but we'll use 3-dimensional techniques to make skin look like it's peeling or bubbling or falling off or decaying. That following week, on April 21st, we do an old pirate, which is when I will teach you how to do facial hair, how to do a beard and mustache. On that day, which will be used as part of the final project, that technique. On the 14th is the actual, April 28th, which is class number 14, is the opportunity for you to catch up on any projects that you miss. I'm really asking that you don't miss class, but sometimes people are sick or they have to go out of town. So that you've kind of got at least one freebie in there that you can miss a class, and this is the opportunity to catch up and make that project. I do not allow people to do projects out of class, take a photograph, and get a grade. You need to do it in front of me and in class, and that would be the day that you would do it. The Victor Victoria project is that I'm asking you to switch sexes. This is not a drag project. This is really an attempt to really change genders, so that through eyebrows, through the width of the nose, the shape of the lips, the color of the skin, that will actually ask you to change sexes on that. On May 5th is reading day, and I'm going to ask you if you will consider maybe doing a final on May 9th rather than the following week on May 13th. So we'll discuss it when I see you in person for the next class. I should go back to the syllabus for just a minute. Once you get through that, the syllabus will show you the grading policy. I use an Excel program. Studio projects, those are the makeup projects in class, are worth 25% of your grade. Face plans are 20%. The makeup morgue and Google site is 10%. Midterm and final papers are 15%. The midterm and final face plans and project is 20% of your grade. The attendance is 10%. CEC, which is required, which totals up 100%. You can see the breakdown in terms of the grade points for all of that. The attendance policy, I really try to be very strict with this, and the third absence, there will be a 10-point deduction from your final grade. In other words, if your Excel score ends up being 85, I would score you at 75. It's an automatic 10-point deduction. We only meet 15 times really before the final, or 14 times, and then the final in this course. So it's really an obligation to show up each and every class. If you are up to 6 absences, you might as well drop the course because you have failed the course at that point. The CEC is part of Ramapo's really huge effort to get you outside of the classroom and to participate in something, to sort of put some of this knowledge together and take it and look at the world outside of campus. Fortunately, we're in the theater department, and there will be 2 productions this spring, one of them being Candide, and I have to actually research, which is the other project. I allow my students to go to those 2 theater productions. You're supposed to have a 5-hour CEC component, and if you attend both of those performances, that would count for 5 hours. So please consider that. You can ask me more questions about the CEC, but it's definitely a part of this program and Ramapo's policy that you must fulfill that. I'll be communicating with you through my email, which is kkinsley@ramapo.edu. Please address any kind of electronic correspondence through that. I also use Luminous more than Moogle, because usually I'm posting files and I'm communicating or sending you emails. So I use Luminous, which is we'll talk about where that is if you haven't found it on your website, but that's my preferred method of communication. Policy on academic integrity is listed in here, so make sure that any of your papers that you do are original sourced, that you're not borrowing it from some other source. And if students with disabilities see me sooner rather than later and show me documentation, and we'll try to make an accommodation for this particular class. I have put together one last thing that I'll add on to this is stage makeup questions. And these are things that people have asked, and I hopefully will answer, fill in what's going on with this course. So how do I get a good grade in this class? Improvement in technique is very important. Projects that are well thought out and executed with care will receive high marks. Attendance is very important. I don't appreciate people rushing through projects and trying to get out of class as soon as possible. It's a very long class. It's 9:45 to 1 p.m. Often we don't use the entire class, and if we're finished with good projects, I'll allow you to leave. I like to start at 9:45, so please be on time. Try not to straggle in too late. I like to start at 9:45. I'll talk about the Google site and how to create a Google site in person. I think it's a little difficult to do it online like this, but I wanted to at least go over some of the requirements. So the next thing you need to do is you need to acquire your makeup kit, your cream blend and professional makeup kit from Mayron. Choose either fair, medium, olive, or dark. You can do it online, or you can do it in person in Chestnut Ridge, New York, which is about 15 minutes. I will include a map online that you can see the driving map. So it's quite convenient to get there. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me at kkinsley@ramapo.edu, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you next week in class. Thank you.